Hello everyone. Today we're going to be unboxing a new camera. This is the ZWO ASI585 MC Pro version of this camera. It actually comes in 4 different flavors. The MM version and the MC version are both uncooled, and the MM Pro version and the MC Pro version are cooled. This is the MC Pro version. The MC is the color and the MM is the monochrome. And this is what is included in the package, or what we're expecting to see when we open it. The camera body and a nice carrying bag for it. Quick start guide, of course. And this is the M42 to M48 male thread adapter, which you will need if you have M48 threads on your telescope. You're going to have one USB 3 cable, which is 2 meters long. You're going to have 2 USB 2 cables, which are only a half a meter long. And we have an extender, which adapts from M42 to M48, 16.5 millimeters. The millimeter depth there is important when you're going to try to add up your extenders to reach the 55 millimeter back focus that a lot of cameras do have. And here's a nose piece adapter for anyone who has 1 1/4 inch connector to the telescope. There's also an M42 to 1 1/4 inch adapter. There's an M42 extender, 21 millimeters. There will be 4 spacers, which are very thin, and there'll be a cover. This cover will fit on the eyepiece, 1 1/4 eyepiece adapter. All right, now let's get down to seeing what we have inside here. It's very nicely packaged. Interestingly, you'll notice on the front that it does not say which version of the camera this is. It does say cooled deep sky camera, which means that it's one of the Pro versions. It doesn't say whether it's the MC color, one-shot color version, or the MM version, which is the monochrome version. And it's packaged nicely. And here's the quick start guide, which we all expect. And let's start with this. Here we have the extender for the M42 connection. And we have the M42 to M48 adapter, 16.5 millimeter depth. Here we have one of the USB 2 cables. And here's another of the USB 2 cables. And you can tell we'll see in a second, the camera connector has this connector for the USB 2 cables. And this looks like our USB 3 cable. And it's got a different connector, which is a little bit deeper than the USB 2 cable connector. And we'll open this in a second. Here's the nose piece for the 1 1/4 inch connector. Here are the 4 spacers, which are very thin. And this is the 1 1/4 adapter for the M42 threads right here. Now let's open the camera itself. It's a very nice carrying case here, very well padded. And here's the front of the camera, or the back of the camera, sorry, with all the connectors. And here's the side of the camera where the sensor is located. There's a nice cap here. By default, the threads here are M42 threads, and it is connected by default to an extender here. But it is removable if you need to adjust your back focus a little bit differently, you can remove it, but it is M42 threads by default. And since my telescope has M48 threads, I'm going to need this adapter here, which is the M42 to M48. And it screws into the M42 side like that. And now this is a female opening for the M48 connectors. Now let's take a look at the back side where all the connections are. Now, being that this is a cooled camera, it does require a separate 12-volt power adapter, which is not included. I think the assumption that ZWO is making is that the universe of ZWO equipment is all intercompatible with each other, and the ASI Air, which is a controlling device, does have a 12-volt output, but you can use any basic compatible 12-volt power source for this camera. But you will need it if you choose to get the cooled version. Here is the USB 2 out, which you would use to connect to other devices. And here's the USB in, which you would use to connect to your laptop or your desktop PC or whatever you have. Notice that the USB 2 connector does fit into the same connector as the USB 3. I wouldn't recommend using the USB 2 unless you have no other options. It's much faster, the download speeds, with USB 3. So anyway, this will connect there as well as the USB 3. We'll go right in there. And this is a cooling fan, which it is capable of bringing the temperature down to minus 30 degrees below ambient temperature Celsius. Now, I have decided to purchase this camera because my current setup has, I use a full frame DSLR, which is 36 by 24 millimeters squared, well, actually rectangular, but that's the dimensions of that sensor. I have found that for smaller objects, that it is too big of a sensor. For a smaller galaxy, say M51 for example, it may take about 10% of the width of the sensor. In order for me to get a good image, I'd have to blow that image up, magnify it quite a bit. And being that it's only about 10% of the width of the sensor, that means it's only comprising about 600 pixels. So if you blow it up or you try to expand it, you're going to lose a lot of the resolution. This sensor, on the other hand, is only approximately 11 by 6 millimeters, which is maybe about 1/12 of the area of the full frame camera sensor. So imagine this object, the M51 object, would take up at least half of the sensor in terms of the width. Meaning, since this resolution is over 3000 by 2000, it's a full 4K resolution sensor, even though it is very small, the same image of M51 would take up approximately 3000 pixels wide, as opposed to 600 with my full frame camera sensor. So you'll get the resolution, it'll appear much larger in the field of view, and you won't have to expand it to get a reasonably sized image. So that's why I've decided to upgrade to this, and I look forward to using it for smaller objects. M51 is a good example, or any small galaxies. If you have a longer focal length, and I would say at least 1000 millimeters, unfortunately my telescope is 780 millimeter focal length. That is the William Optics FLT 120, and I'll provide a link in the comments section below to that telescope review, which I do have and I like it a lot. But the focal length of 780 millimeters does not give enough magnification, for lack of a better word, for planets. Now, if you do have a longer focal length telescope, say 1000 millimeters or more, this camera can do dual duty and do a very good job of framing some of the larger planets. And it also records video, which has become pretty much the standard of photographing planets these days. And this camera would suit that need very well. So that's it. This is a very nice little camera. It's very versatile, and it's very interoperable with other astronomical gear, and it does come with a full range of adapters. Unfortunately, my telescope, I do need to buy some additional extenders to achieve the proper back focus, but those are readily available on the internet. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to trying this camera out.